Good afternoon and welcome to AIADA's AutoTalk. I'm your host, Rachel Soleimani. Today we continue our webinar series surrounding COVID-19 and the global pandemic's effect on the automotive retail market. Before I introduce today's presenter, a few quick reminders. Everyone that is registered for today's program will receive a copy by the end of this week. And if you have any questions, feel free to enter them into the lower right side of your interface under the Q&A bar. Now join me in welcoming Dealer Teamwork co-founder and director of marketing, Eric Milch. Eric, take it away.
Thank you, Rachel. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you again, Rachel and Dan, everyone from AIADA and all of the other participants today. I appreciate you taking time. I hope everyone is doing great and everybody is staying safe out there as well. Again, my name is Eric Milch. I'm the co-founder and director of marketing at Dealer Teamwork, one of the fastest growing automotive digital marketing software companies in the industry. I've been in the business for over 15 years. My first experience in the industry, I was the marketing director for a startup used car superstore called Auction Direct USA. And we quickly grew that into being the #1 volume leader in the US as an independently owned used car dealership with locations in 4 states. And what I'm going to share with you today is a lot of the original ideas and concepts that I was using even back then, and I'm going to show you even more about how this is all transformed. And so I'm really honored to be able to present in today's webinar. Again, you're going to learn about one of the most significant yet overlooked portion of your dealership's marketing activities, your Google My Business profile. So I promise that you'll walk away today with some valuable action items that will be able to impact your dealership's ability to improve your local search presence and drive more activity and create better accountability for all this activity. So in today's webinar, again, Google My Business 101, how to maximize local search results. You'll get an introduction to what is the Google My Business profile. Now, I may refer to this as the GMB or as even your local landing page. I'll share why this profile is so important to your dealership. I'll also share how it's used and some of the behaviors that you can expect from it. And of course, I'll share some of the key Google My Business features to help your dealership get found online and drive more clicks and calls to your website. So with everything happening right now, it's important to understand that consumer behavior is changing like never before, and we have to be prepared for that. So how is the consumer behavior changing? There's a great example I found while researching different Google trends, and searches for new car for sale has remained relatively flat for this particular search, while searches for liquor delivery have actually increased exponentially over the past 30 days. And the reason why I like this example is because it shows how people are going to search locally for the things that they need. So Google My Business needs to be recognized as part of the foundation of your local search marketing efforts. This is not the tip of the iceberg. This is the base of it. So I'm going to share with you how important and effective your Google My Business or your local landing page can be when fully optimized. So my goal here is to help you understand the opportunities that, again, this opens up for your dealership. And ultimately, how this can help your dealership rebuild your business as we all work together to cost effectively and efficiently restore your business and help rebuild America's economy while keeping everyone safe and secure. So let's start at square one, and it's very important to understand the basics with this, so I'll walk you through this as well. Before anything can be done to improve and optimize your Google My Business profile, it's very important that the leaders in the dealership and the marketers in the store obviously know that their GMB profile is in fact what we call claimed and verified. If you're already managing your Google My Business profile, you'll have access to the admin section already. However, if you don't have access, I've included a link here to help you find and manage your local listing. So you can simply search for your business, check if it is verified, and if it is verified and you don't have access, you can request it through this link. Now, if your profile has been claimed, you'll get a notice that looks like this. Again, if you don't have access, you can still request it by clicking the Request Access button. And then requesting access, this is very important as well. You choose your access level, you choose the level of the relationship to the business that you are, you add your contact info, and it's very important to know that you use a dealership address. You put in your business address so that you always remain in control of the users who have access to this profile. So if you have another employee that's using, don't let them use a generic Gmail address. Let them use their actual dealership address so that you always maintain control and continuity. Unfortunately, a lot of people, we hear that the employees will leave, and then again, unfortunately, the dealership doesn't have access to this after the fact, and you don't want to be stuck in that situation. Now let's move on to some of the activities surrounding the Google My Business activity and just general search behavior as well. So about 62% of all automotive-related searches begin on a mobile phone. And from there, we know nearly 50% of all searches are obviously local. Now again, from there, about 50% or nearly 50% of that traffic that's already coming to your website is actually already engaging with your Google My Business profile. But unfortunately, most dealers aren't prepared to be able to measure that engagement and that activity. And that's a big problem that we want to address, and that's the main purpose, one of the main purposes of this webinar today. So the problem that we're trying to solve, again, is for your dealership to be able to show up for more of these searches, again, to drive the interaction with your local landing page, and ultimately track more of that engagement within your dealership's profile. And again, what are local shoppers looking to do? They're looking to make calls. They're looking to click through to the website, schedule appointments. They are asking questions. They're looking for directions. And again, they're looking for reviews or reading reviews, leaving reviews. So while it's difficult to gauge what the actual intent of the shopper is, the purpose here is to be able to show up for more searches and be able to interact with more and be able to capture that interaction. It's important to understand the ranking factors for the actual profile itself. And again, just like any other organic or free listing in the search results, there are several key factors that influence how these results show up. So why is this important to understand? Because Google has one simple job when it comes to local search, and that's really simple, and that's to show people the best local results that are actually near them. So how do they do that for a business? They look at a lot of different factors, and one where I'll start off with, they look at your business name, your address, and your business phone number. This is often referred to as the NAP record, the NAP record. And this helps the search engines essentially find your business so they can show it to more local people. Again, you may hear me refer to this as the NAP record, meaning your name, address, and phone number. So how does this all work in the grand scheme of things? Let's take a quick look at what behind the scenes at this, what we call and refer to the local search ecosystem. Hopefully this will help you understand how this all works again behind the scenes. So this intricate diagram shows 5 different places within the internet and how they work together to try to find accurate business information. If the search engines see a consistent relationship in that NAP record, your name, address, phone number, then they have the ability, obviously, to be able to show local shoppers even better information. So what they're doing is they're constantly scanning the relationship between data aggregators, different sites in the ecosystem, directories, geo-directories, and obviously the search engines are just looking to determine, is this accurate? Is this trustworthy? Is it specific? Is it in the right location? Does it have the right categories? And again, we'll go through all these more specifically, but I think it's important to truly understand how this local search ecosystem actually works. So from there, there's always many, many different ranking factors, but we're going to go over what is often considered the top 10 local search ranking factors that anybody has the ability to impact. And I'll run through these very specifically one by one. So number one, you want to have obviously a verified and optimized Google My Business profile. That's why I started this off by making sure that you understand that you need to have that claimed and verified, and from there on an optimized profile. And I will walk you through some of those key optimization elements within the profile itself. One of those being your categories, your Google My Business categories. This is going to give Google a clue or a signal with regards to what the business and the services and the products that they provide. Is this relevant to the search? The better these are categorized, the better Google can find it and show it to people so it makes a difference to them and helps them with their search. Next is something very simple, Google My Business Photos. People want to see pictures in the profile, and I'll show you in a couple slides really how much more activity that you can actually get by having photos in your listing. Next is having a Bing Places. This is the equivalent to having a Google My Business profile, except it's just a local business profile on the search engine Bing. And next we have two other listings that are considered what are considered links. One of them is considered an online directory, often referred to as a citation. A really good example of that would be yp.com, yellowpages.com. Another example is the review site listings, and that a great example again is something as simple as Yelp. Now I noticed that I bolded these 5 items. These are 5 items that you can directly impact by creating those business profiles. The other 5 items that are not bolded, those are either just simple dealership processes or just natural occurring organic type of behaviors, such as the pace and the speed of which you receive positive reviews. Obviously, Google wants to be able to show another signal to shoppers, and obviously we understand the importance of having those reviews. Again, the next one being just having reviews with keywords and locations in them. Google has indicated that this may be a positive signal, and they want to see that. And again, it's difficult to control it, but if you can get a review where someone, instead of saying something like, I had a great time, buying my car, here, instead they may say something like, I loved Smith BMW, in Cincinnati. Something like that might be a little bit more specific. And on top of that, you can also respond to reviews by using some of your keywords like that. Again, nothing too spammy. We just want that to be naturally occurring. And next is just simply, Google wants to see you're responding to more than just your positive reviews. You need to be responding to all of the reviews, including the negative. And then last, number 10, is again just having another business profile linked to your business through Facebook. And again, having a Facebook business page is very important. So those are the top 10 local SEO factors that Google has shared and is transparent with, and as well that the industry and the community is pretty much mainly focused on in terms of what they can actually impact the profile. So let's take a look now at just understanding some general GMB Google My Business activity, and I'll show you a few fascinating results that will give you a better indication of what you can expect, or what you may not be aware of actually happens behind the scenes with the Google My Business activity. So this first one is showing 2 different charts. The blue line represents the activity, what we call discovery searches. Discovery searches would be something like a car dealership near me, or Honda store near me, or Honda dealership near me, Honda dealer, best Honda dealer. A direct search might be a specific brand, again, Smith Honda. Those are the 2 types of searches. And you can see here, the blue line much higher. There's a lot more activity, obviously, on those longer tail type of discovery searches. So the goal here, obviously, would be you're always going to show up for your name, or at least you really should be showing up for your name. But you can see there's a much greater opportunity to show up for more searches and create more engagement and activity, obviously, through these discovery searches. Now let's move on to the next category, and that's just simply breaking down the proportion of the views on maps and searches from a Google My Business listing. And you can see here the search view. Again, that's your profile just simply showing up in the organic search results. You're on average about 75% of the time. That's the view that most people will see. And then again, another 25%, your listing would show up on a map view as well. So it's just another location that your business would be able to be found and again discovered within the maps. Again, obviously indicating a completely different type of intent by that user, because they obviously are looking for a specific location or obviously directions. Now the next item is broken down between what I mentioned before. You have your 2 categories: discovery searches and direct searches. And this is a breakdown from this study as well that shows the proportion of those activities across all industries. And on top of that, indicating that, again, much greater opportunity to be able to capture those type of long tail searches. And again, by that I mean something as simple as BMW dealership near me. So we want to be able to make sure that we understand how this breakdown is. Now, once someone does find it, what are they doing when they land on that Google My Business profile? So again, your three main items here, you have website visits. Those represent probably a little bit over 50% of the activity. And then you have direction requests, and then you have phone calls. Again, knowing that this is how that breakdown is, and this is the end result, it makes logical sense to be able to have a profile that is in fact optimized fully so you can show up for more searches, you can drive more actions and customer actions in the listing, and then again be able to measure those actions appropriately. And this is the item that I mentioned before in terms of the photos. Notice the bottom axis here. This is showing the average monthly customer actions based on a profile and how many photos they have inside their profile. So notice you have listings with 1 photo, 2 to 5, and so on and so on. And you can see gradually as you go to the right, the actions obviously start to increase. Businesses with over 100 photos, the activity is exponentially off the charts practically in terms of website visits, direction requests, and phone calls. So again, this is something that just can naturally occur from customers. They can upload it. Employees can upload it. You can make this part of your process for managing your, your customer activity. A lot of stores, obviously, for a long time, have taken customer photos instead of just always relying on social media to do it. Add those photos and anything else that you can, for that profile to keep that fresh. More photos simply equals more customer actions. So now, how can you actually impact this with the actual the Google My Business listing and the profile itself? So let's take a look at the 3 categories that I've broken this down. Hopefully this will help you be able to remember and categorize these a little bit better in terms of optimizing that profile so that you can help shoppers find things what they want even faster and easier. The first item is just knowing what your categories are. So Google will only show one primary category, for instance, something like Honda dealer, but then behind the scenes, you can actually tag it with additional specific categories that apply to that business. So for instance, car dealer, used car dealer. If you have rental cars, you can do that. And there's so many different items. There's truck dealer, there's car leasing. And again, you have to be very careful here. You can't just write in your own. You have to choose what Google has pre-selected that fits your business. And we don't recommend adding the service and parts type of profile elements to your main sales profile. Leave those for those specific fixed ops profiles. Next is the content. Obviously, just like a web page, you want to optimize this with relevant content. And I'll show you where we can do this specifically. But for this example here, we're just going to talk about the category itself. We want to have what we call the products and services section built out. We want to have posts. We want to have a full, complete profile description. And again, I'll show you examples of these fully at work. And then next is your call to actions, your CTAs. You want to have tracking tags. We want to be able to measure the traffic when somebody clicks a button or a link. We want to have all the right URLs in there. We want to have the appointment URL. We want to have the products and services URL. And again, we want to be able to have all these other smaller elements in place so that we can capture that. Without doing that, we are actually missing opportunities to connect people to exactly what they want to, what they're actually looking for when they did a search for your dealership or a type of dealership. So let's start with the main primary CTA button. And it's astonishing to realize this, but up to about 90% of dealers out there still don't track all of the opportunities for the organic or the free Google My Business clicks that already engage. And remember what I said in the beginning, approximately 50% of your traffic may already be engaging with your profile and you're not even aware of that. So again, we want to be able to track these links through this website button that goes right to your home page. And when you add this, and I've put an example of what this tag will look like after your .com and your web address. And you can see now we're tracking things like the source from Google, the medium from an organic search, and then lastly, we can assign a campaign parameter to that or just another indicator, and it tells us exactly what they clicked on. And whoever is managing your Google Analytics, you now have a better understanding of the actual breakdown of where this traffic came from. It came right from Google, from an organic or free click, and they clicked the main website button. This helps you paint a better picture of what your local customers are actually doing when they land on your profile. Now let's move on to what we consider the secondary CTA, call to action links. And there's a couple extra, and a lot of dealers miss out on this opportunity to be able to add these links and again, add the tracking tags. So there's 2 additional. So now you can see we've got what we call the products and services, and then we've got the appointment setting. And that appointment setting goes directly into your service schedule, or it goes directly into it could be a contact us page, wherever you would like to. But the point is, you have that freedom, you have that control, so to be able to increase traffic to specific pages and then be able to measure that is a great opportunity to be able to add that level of data that you need to be able to manage your campaigns better. And next, we're going to go into a new section that Google has introduced a few months back. They've taken the beta label off of it. Unfortunately, it may not be available to all dealers, but if this is enabled in your profile, I strongly recommend you putting this in place. And this is something that we love helping dealers with because it adds an instant new element to the dealership's local landing page experience by having this nice carousel in here. So you can add, obviously, different vehicles, body types. You can add used, CPO. You can even add service and parts and just other functions of the dealership to be able to add more depth to the engagement level that your profile can actually achieve. And again, by doing all of these things, going from just the profile that had one main CTA button, then now you can see by adding the products and services, by adding the products carousel, the appointment link, I have seen dealers that have gone from one untagged main website button to over 20 additional call to actions. And the opportunity now, again, to connect and engage and track just grows so much more. And now once you click into those individual tiles, you can see now you have essentially like a mini card that opens up within that product section. And again, you've got a call to action for your phone number. You can add pricing info. And this is the part that I really enjoy sharing with dealers because it makes a lot of sense to me logically. So you've got, Google has given you about 1,000 characters, up to 1,000 characters for this one section. There's a reason why Google does things like that. They want to add additional relevance both for the experience and I'm going to speculate that they possibly look at this as a signal for relevance to the profile itself. So to be able to add relevant information, per a specific make and model, and then again being able to give it the call to action button with a properly labeled tag, so you can track that. Again, you're adding a whole new layer to the experience and the opportunity to connect. You can even add things like your service content in here. And being able to add this. You can add multiple categories. If you don't have this and you're just starting out, my initial recommendation is to still add at least 3, 4, 5 of these just to test the waters. But again, add your top service offerings and again, add more descriptions, make it relevant, make it as rich as possible, make it valuable too. And again, make sure whatever CTA or call to action you ever add, always add that UTM tracking tag as well. Next, I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with this, but you may not be familiar with some of the newer features that they've recently added. For one, you can now add videos, you can even add GIFs. On top of that, Google's recently made a nice update where they allow you to put specific COVID-related updates. Just note that when you do that, the COVID update section does not allow an image. If you do want to use the post section for COVID updates, you can do something like these guys did here at Suns Kia, really nice job with a nice explainer video, personalized it, added a message about some of the new activities like their no-cost pickup and delivery services that are available. And again, you can do offers, you can do products, you can do standard updates, you can even post events in there as well. And again, as I always say, add the UTM tag to those CTAs so you can track if there is in fact any click-throughs coming from that. And again, great way for you to be able to post anything new that's happening right now with your COVID updates and anything else happening in your local markets as well. The next one is a relatively newer one. Obviously, this caught a lot of attention, again, especially in those states that were closed down. And what they did was Google introduced this temporarily closed banner, and it was a great move on their part to be able to offer this up. But by and large, most businesses again were closed, and they didn't have any opportunity for ancillary services like fixed ops, obviously, or even online digital retailing type of solutions. I don't recommend using this, or at least if you do, at least be aware of what could potentially happen from this. Google has stated simply that this may actually limit your Google My Business visibility. I'm not a fan of anything that's going to limit a dealership's visibility. I want to have obviously as much control as possible on it, and just be aware that if you do turn this on, you may have limited control on the hours or even possibly when this may restore, because Google has also said that they are running at a slower pace, or at least with a smaller support staff in the Google My Business departments. And on top of that, again, knowing that you can now keep sales and service and parts all separate profiles, this is again another great way, another way at least to be able to indicate, what the status is. So I'm going to show you on the next slide what my personal recommendation is. And there's another way that you can do this, and another alternative method here. There's a section in the controls that allows you to update the special hours section. So in those states where either you're running on different hours and times, and again, this will just simply give you better control. And you can do this for each specific department as well. And on top of that, another new update, departments are now included to be able to show more hours. They're actually breaking the departments down as well. This is a relatively newer update that Google has rolled out. So now when you click see more hours as well, you have a combined card that shows sales offers and your other departments, such as your service center. So to do this, very, very simple. When you're in your admin section, you can use the special hours section. It'll open a card like this, and then you just simply choose your days individually, choose the hours individually, and then just select it as open. And then again, you get much more control and timing over this. And on top of this should also be used just in general for your holidays. And notice this dealership already has their Memorial Day holiday hours already included in this card. So that's a great way. Again, I know there's only a few states left that are fully shut down, but if anybody has any other special situations or scenarios, this is the way that I would recommend it. Again, so you can at least maintain full control, and you can also maintain better transparency to your customers. And next is, I just want to share with you what you get out of the Google My Business profile in terms of the data or the insights, as Google puts it. So here's 8 specific measurements and metrics that Google rolls out and shares with you in a very nice dashboard, so you can see how the customers have searched for your business. You can see the actual search queries to actually locate the profile. You can see where your customers came from that viewed your business. You can see the actions that they took, the direction requests, the phone calls. You can even see popular times. And on top of that, you can see the photo views. So here's a quick snapshot of just a few of these. So again, this dashboard will break down the discovery, the direct, the branded searches. You can see how they found how they found it, whether they viewed the website, they requested directions, or they made a phone call. And then I love this part. Google gives you the opportunity to be able to see the search term, how people search to find you, whether it was Smith Honda, or if it was Honda dealership near me, or even best Honda store. And again, they give you up to, in this case, they've got 1,000 different pieces of data that you can scroll through. and be able to understand get a better understanding of how people, again, have found you and what they may be looking for with regards to their intent. And this is a great way, again, to be able to understand your local market behavior, be able to increase the optimization efforts, and be able to make sure that your Google My Business local landing page shows up for more searches, you can drive more activity, and obviously be able to track that even better. So if anybody after we're done here today, if you would like a complimentary Google My Business audit, our team is prepared to help anyone and everyone on the call. Just simply request yours by emailing me here. And what we do is we go through and do a much more comprehensive and deep dive into that profile. We'll give you some additional information, but primarily we're really focused in on looking to check those items that can impact your local search performance and be able to give you those recommendations. And again, all the things that we covered today and more, all the actions used, are the tracking tags there? Are they properly done? Are you using the new product section? Are you using the posts properly? And again, all the other profile and content sections. And then on top of that, we'll look behind the scenes for what the local citation accuracy is. Because again, if you have misinformation or wrong addresses or just inconsistent information, that can impact your ability for your dealership's profile to show up for different searches throughout the local results. And that's everything we have today. I appreciate everybody taking the time out of your day as well. Again, please, everybody, continue to be safe. Look forward to helping as many people as possible as we look forward into the future, and we try to rebuild both the industry and America together. So thank you again for everybody. Dan and Rachel, I appreciate your support as well. Thank you so much.
Eric, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us today. We really appreciate it. To continue our COVID-19 webinar series, join us back here on Thursday, April 30th, as Cox Automotive Senior Economist Charlie Chesbrough returns to give us an update on COVID-19's impact on U.S. auto sales. Be on the lookout for promotions on how to register. For more information about AIADA, visit AIADA.org. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and have a great day.